Hi folks, Damon here. So sometimes I get really excited and I can't help myself from creating something. And usually when that happens, it's with something silly. So today, that is with a certain style of hand-drawn charts. So the other day, all good things start with a tweet. I found this cool chart style here and I was like, man, I really wish I could get this chart style in Excel. And somebody replied, Roy actually, who works on the Glue team at AWS, replied with an example. But then I woke up this morning and I actually got a lot of sleep and I looked at my sleep data and I said, wow, I've been getting the most sleep ever since my daughter was born. I want to graph that and I want to graph it in this cool style. So I hunted around a little bit. I did a Google search for hand drawn charts because I wanted to do this in a Jupyter notebook. And so came across a few things there, how to do it in PowerPoint, like a couple SaaS services to do it. And then finally, I came across this towardsdatascience.com blog post about make the cutest charts in Python. And this sounds pretty awesome, right? This is the preview of it, but the TLDR here is there's a Python package called Cute Charts. So if you look at Cute Charts, let's go ahead and pull that open. It's pretty neat little library. It hasn't been updated in a year, but works just fine, and it lets you draw cute little hand-drawn charts, kind of like XKCD style. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's see if I can take this and drop it in an EMR Studio. They do have instructions here on how to use it with Jupyter Notebook as well as Jupyter Lab. So looks like I was pretty good to go there. So what I did is I popped into a Jupyter Notebook and what I did, I just kind of copied and pasted the data and dropped it in here. So initially when I wrote this notebook, I just had my labels as, July 2020 and whatnot, and that worked fine. But that was like, I had to copy and paste data into my notebook. That's not acceptable. How can we make this possible? And so what I did is I have this other project called Cargo Crates. And Cargo Crates is something I use to be able to extract data from different APIs using Docker containers. And the idea is I can do it with a simple Docker run command. So I do Docker run, provide an authentication token, and extract data. I'm going to do this with URA data, my URA ring. I'm going to do that with my URA data for this notebook. So in order to do this, in EMR, I had to go into my EMR cluster and I had to, I had to go there and I had to install Docker. I had to try a few different times because I wasn't exactly sure how to do it, but essentially I just did a sudo yum install Docker. I had to start the Docker service and I had to make sure that my EMR notebook user was added to the Docker group. And then I also had to restart the Jupyter Enterprise Gateway service. I wouldn't normally have to do that if I was doing this as part of a bootstrap action or initial step on provisioning the cluster, but I was doing this with a live cluster, so I had to kind of go ahead and do that. But once I got that, I had Docker running on my cluster, and then in EMR Studio, let me pop up here. So I did a pip install Qt charts. That worked fine. And then I'm going to actually do a Docker run on that container. So I do a Docker run. I specify my environment variable for URA, and I want to go all the way back to the month my daughter was born in. And then I'm going to run my URA crate, output my sleep data, and drop it into a JSON file. So this is an example of the data that comes back from URA. And you can see here there's bedtime start, bedtime end. There's also an awake metric that tells you how many seconds you were awake, and then a total metric that tells you how many total seconds you slept that night. And then there's a summary date. So that tells you this is the data for July 1st. So then I brought in pandas, which is pre-installed with EMR Studio, read that JSON file, and you can see the structure of it there. Did a little bit of data wrangling. So I took my summary date and formatted it, or made that a date time data frame. And then I just did a group by and got the average for every date, or every month, I should say. And then, let's see, oh yeah, frequency month average. So that's my average total sleep seconds per month. And then what I did, I used this Qt Charts library. So I did import, use Jupyter Lab from Qt Charts, import the line, and then I created a simple Qt Charts thing. So let me actually go through and run this. So I'll start up here. Qt Charts is already installed, and if I do this Docker run, that's going to go fetch the data from the URA API live. The 0 just means that command executed successfully. So if I go ahead and read that file, there's the example data, and then I'll bring that into pandas. Let's do the group by. So this is the summary data, and then I format the months to be a little bit more readable. And then this is me just experimenting to make sure I can get the seconds down to the average hours per month. And then here's cute charts. I had to do, it's a little bit weird, so let's see if this works. If that doesn't work, I'll have to do something else. Yeah, I have to do something else. I have to do this like load JavaScript step in a second step. So there's the cute charts chart that I'm drawing. I have to load this JavaScript, and then I can render the notebook. And now we've got my average sleep per night. And I added a second series here, which was my how many hours I'm awake each night, because I wake up and I take care of my daughter. And so we can see here's my total sleep. It's trending upwards. Yes. And then you can see my awakeness is trending downwards. Yes. And so there is a chart that I just pulled up in EMR Studio by running a Docker command, pulling data out of a live API, putting it into pandas, and making a cute chart. So that was what I woke up this morning. I just had that stuck in my head, and I'm able to do that, and I just wanted to share it with everybody. So yeah, thanks. Have a good day.